Hello, everyone, and welcome to training one of my frequency class. I'm very excited about this training. I think it's very important, very timely, and it's useful information that we need, not only for this frequency class, but for life in general. And so I'm really excited to get started with it. So the first thing that we're going to talk about today is something that is very important for us to know, but we don't all know about it. It's not talked about a lot. I mean, we hear about it, but we don't really necessarily know what it is or what to do with it. And I'm here today to kind of solve the mystery and really give you practical tips of what to do. So what I'm talking about is the vagus nerve. Okay, so the vagus nerve is the longest nerve in our body, and it's also very complex. Okay. And it's essential to us because it helps regulate all functions in our body. Okay. So the vagus nerve is really, really important for all the functioning, everything that functions in our body, all the systems, all the things that we don't even have to think about, all of that. And then it has this one huge component, which is essential when we're talking about frequency. And that is that it's very tied to our gut. Okay, so we often hear that the gut is called the second brain, right? It has over 100 million cells, our gut alone, 100 million cells. Like that's almost unfathomable for me. I can't, it's just that's so much. And that's more cells than is found in the entire central nervous system. So that should give us a clue of how important our gut is, right? How important this one area of the body that, of course, we think about, but how much of a part it plays in everything. So it's very connected, okay, to the second brain. The vagus nerve is very connected to our second brain. And what the vagus nerve does is it facilitates two-way communication, right? Between your brain and your gut, your intestines. And really, it's key to the mind-body connection. And that's essential when we're talking about frequency. The mind-body connection is everything. So whenever you have a gut feeling, right? Or something, you just feel it in your gut, that's really frequency, and that's energy, that's intuition, right? And intuition is simply the connection of our frequency to another frequency, right? That's outside of us, whatever that frequency might be, another person, a situation, our higher power, whatever it is, right? So we can't underscore the importance of our, connection to our gut and our mind body connection. We can't underscore that. Like it is so essential. And the vagus nerve also is in charge of the autonomic nervous system. Okay, that's sometimes called the ANS. And this nervous system controls all of our involuntary bodily functions like breathing, heart rate, digestion, all those things that we don't even have to think about, right? They just work. And it's also, the vagus nerve is also a major pathway for our parasympathetic nervous system, which is all about the rest and digest system, right? So we hear that. And we think about that as like rest and digest our food. That's typically what we think of, but it goes so much deeper than that. It's about resting and digesting everything, food, life, issues, conflicts, feelings, all of it. It's how well we're able to, metabolize all these different areas of life, not just our food, right? How well we're able to digest what's going on in life. And our vagus nerve is directly tied to that, our ability to do that, how well we do it or how well we don't do it, right? So the vagus nerve has a frequency that's all its own, and it's personal to each of us. And it's also personal to where we're at in our life. So we want we want to have a high vagal tone. That means that our nerve is performing really well, right? It's balanced and it's performing at its optimum level. If our vagal tone is low, then it's not doing its job, right? It's not doing its job very well. So we're going to take some time and we're going to get really, really connected with our vagal nerve. And this portion of the training is meant to be done every day, at least once, multiple times if you want. It's up to you. And the intention is to really get us to, number one, stimulate the vagus nerve so that it can help us in relaxation. That's really because it helps with the rest and digest. We really want that rest portion that has to come first, right? When we're rested, when we're not stressed, when we're not in fight or flight, then we can digest, we can metabolize, and it works much better. It's, works in our favor. We don't feel like we're, swimming against the current all the time. We're more in flow. And so we really want to get to know our vagus nerve so that we know when it needs some attention. And also we know how to attend to it. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do, let me explain one thing. The vagus nerve comes, it comes on each side, right? So it comes down from the side of your head in your brain, comes down right through here and down the front of the body, and then meets in the gut. Okay, so we're going to work it on both sides. So you can do it both sides at once. You can do one side at a time and then switch. We're going to do both sides just for time purposes right now. But you can always, pause and rewind and do the other side if that's what you need. Okay, so first thing, and we're going to do everything with touch. Okay, so touch is everything. Touch is such an important sense that we have, and it really allows us to connect with our frequency, our intuition, and to know where to be guided, how to be guided, how to do it. So, what we want to do is we want to close our eyes. We have about 40% more perception when our eyes are closed. Okay. So if you're really trying to tune into tune into your frequency, to tune into some other frequency, close your eyes. It always helps. All right. So we're going to close our eyes. We're going to take some nice deep breaths in through the nose. Expand the belly first if you can. We want to activate those 100 million cells, right? Those will really help us to connect to our frequency. So we want to breathe in through the nose, expand that belly first, then up into the lungs, hold for just a moment, and then release out the nose again. We're going to do 5 of those. One more. Okay, now we're going to take the fingers on each hand, and we're just going to put them right around the ear. So you can see how I've got them just kind of up around the ear. And you're just going to apply light pressure. Not too hard. We don't need to go hard. This nerve is very sensitive. So we don't need, it's not about force, it's about persuasion, and it's about consistency. And then you can see I'm just moving my fingers. I'm moving them in a clockwise motion right now. But do whatever feels best for you. It might be moving them up and down, back and forth. Just get a sense. The whole time we're doing this, continue to breathe. Now we're going to move our hands to just below, right behind the ear and right under, right like where your jaw. Okay, we're gonna go right there, and you can use 2 fingers. I've got 2 on there. You can use as many as you want. We just want to apply some light pressure. Again, massage. Massage. You can just hold the pressure steady also. Whatever feels best for you, just do what feels best. Okay. And now we're going to come down to the side of the neck, each side, and put 3 fingers on the side. And again, just apply some nice pressure. You can move them around if you need. And just get a sense of that nerve. Just tune in and see if you can feel it. You can get a sense of its tone at the time, whether it's low or high or anywhere in between. Just get a sense. And now let's move a little bit more towards the center, right on either side of your thyroid. And again, you can move if you want. Don't forget to breathe. Activate those 100 million cells. It's very important. While we're at this point, we're going to do a little bit of humming on the exhale. Okay, now we're gonna, excuse me. And now I thought I had that off. Now we're gonna move down just a bit. We're gonna bring our fingers right to the front here. on either side, right about the clavicle. And we're just going to press again. And breathe. And I hope at this point that you're noticing you're relaxing. Maybe your shoulders are dropping. Maybe you're sinking a little more deeply into the space that you're sitting. And again, if you feel like you want to move your fingers, go ahead. And we're going to come down a little more. And then we're going to go right down above the belly, below the sternum. And again, just make some contact. And now we're going to go right on the belly, right below the belly button. You're just going to press those hands anywhere in that area. Just massage. That's all we're doing. It's a very light, gentle massage. Now we're going to come back up to right below, right above the belly button on either side. Just gently massage. And now right up here again, either side, right by your heart, on the other side. And really what we're doing is we're just activating the nerve, activating the cells. We're oxygenating, which is essential. And we're relaxing. And then up a little more, right below those collarbones on either side. And right here on either side. And the thyroid right in there. And then right on either side of the neck. And then right below, in that jaw, right below the ear. Now we're going to add one spot. You can do one finger or two, but right on this bone right behind the ear. We're going to spend a little bit of time right there. And then again, all the fingers just right around the ears, applying light pressure. And release. And just notice how you feel. Just notice if you feel more relaxed, if you notice anything differently. I feel great. So again, you want to do that every day, at least once, maybe even a few more times if when you can. You don't have to do the video. You can just place your hands where it feels. But the one thing that I really want you to notice is when you first start, take some breaths and really tune into your body and just get a sense if you can connect with the nerve or get a sense of the frequency. Do that before and after. We didn't do that. We should have, but it's not a perfect world. So do that from now on. Tune in, feel your body, and see if you can connect to that, the frequency of the nerve before you start, and then again after, so that you get to really know that nerve and know the difference in when you're relaxed and when you're connected. And that'll really, really help with the relaxation. Okay, so the next part of this training is all about hydration. And, you know, we don't necessarily think of hydration and frequency as going hand in hand, but they do. Because frequency is energy. And in order for energy to flow, in order for energy to move, we need to have hydration, right? When we're not hydrated, we're constricted, right? It's like it's solid, it's not fluid, it's not flowing. If we want to think of it in terms of water, it's like water would then be ice, right? And nothing's flowing through the ice. So we need to be hydrated. It's essential for us to really be able to connect to our frequency and to be able to connect to frequency in general, right? And dehydration occurs when your body can't retain fluids and electrolytes, and it brings an imbalance, right? When there's a reduction in water content in the body, the salt sugar balance is not there, our minerals are all out of whack, and you know, our systems don't know what to do, right? Because water is essential. And you know, not just for, you know, it's essential that we stay hydrated for our cells. We're talking about cells again. And when you're drinking water, I always like to point this out. If you can, if it's possible for you to, and I'm not talking about drinking like alkaline water or anything like that, but if when you're drinking water, if you can add something to it that will, I call it charge the water. So that would be like a complete salt, or, you know, a charged salt water, a little bit of that, or a lemon, anything like that, a cucumber, an orange, something that will charge the water. That's how our body receives and metabolizes the water at the highest level. Okay. So really, there's a few ways that our body gets the most nutrients, and really receives water in the best way. And it's not necessarily just by drinking water like we think. So we're going to talk about that. So when I'm talking for this portion, when I'm talking about like a salt, excuse me, a complete salt or a salt water, I'm talking about salt that has all of its 60 plus minerals intact and is unrefined. So it hasn't been heat processed, nothing's added to it, nothing's removed from it. It's just pure. And that's really what we want, because when we have that, that sets the table for us to be hydrated. And what I mean by that is when you ingest or either, you know, ingest complete unrefined salt, or you use it in like a tub or shower soak, or you know, in like my salt sprays, things like that, you're really setting a foundation for your body to be hydrated and for you to be able to receive any nutrients that you're bringing to your body in an easier, more effective way. I like to think of it like when you plant a garden, you don't just go out, find an open area of dirt, throw your seeds and hope, right? You till the soil, you replace some nutrients, you prepare it for those seeds so that when those seeds, you know, we want to plant them so that they have everything they need, all the nutrients they need to support them so that they can take root and bloom and grow and provide the nourishment that we want, right? In the food or the whatever it is, the flower. And it's the same way with our body. When we have not prepared our body, when we have not taken care of that foundation, then it doesn't work quite as well. Our body doesn't absorb all the nutrients. It doesn't really take everything in. So we really want to be careful of that. And there's a couple things that complete unrefined salt do that are very important. They really help us to stop cravings. So cravings of sugars and drugs, which is super important. And, you know, a lot of sugar is not great for us, right? So we want to be really, really careful about that. We want to be really careful about cravings, but the complete salt will really help with that. It helps bring everything into balance. And when we're in balance, we're functioning optimally and we don't have those cravings, right? And this is very much about brain function. And we need balanced mineral levels for really good brain function. We know now science has shown that mineral deficiency, which many people have, most of America has it because we're not addressing it and we're not dealing with it in a way that's really helpful for us. But mineral deficiency is tied to all kinds of diseases, and most of them, or a lot of them, are neurological. Okay. So, like Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's, things like that. We want to be, all those neurological things are very tied to mineral deficiency. So, we want to make sure that we are doing everything we can to get our minerals. And the interesting thing about mineral deficiency is that in unrefined complete salt, which is natural, the way God intended it, all the minerals are together, right? There's 60 plus minerals in complete salt, in unrefined salt. And they work together. They're all a team. And it's like a checks and balance system. So they keep each other in check. They help balance each other out. They help them not be level. They help levels of certain minerals to not get too high or too low. They just really work well together. And when they're not all together, they don't work as well. Okay. So when you take potassium by itself, for instance, you might get a little bit of benefit, but you won't get as much of a benefit as you would if you used a complete unrefined salt where the potassium is combined with the other minerals that it needs to help balance it, right? It not only helps keep them in, like, from being too high of a level or too low of a level, but it helps them to work, to function at their highest, right? To provide the nutrient that it needs to in the best way. So it's really, really important that we do that. Okay. And there's another really important reason why we need full minerals, and we need to be really aware of not being mineral deficient. And that is because minerals work with water. They work along with water to make sure that we have proper molecular function and formation, right? So minerals are really crystals in and of themselves, right? And when they bond with or connect with water molecules, they deliver energy. That's where energy happens. And they deliver energy, they deliver frequency, and they deliver information to all the cells, right? And this is important because this is how cells get instructions of what to do, right? It's not like we're telling our cells, okay, now you go over here and you work on the liver, and then you come back here and you work up in the lungs. No, we're not doing that, right? We're just nourishing our body and allowing the cells to do their job. But the minerals and the water combined for all of that information and all of that communication, all that frequency between the cells, right? So a mineral deficient diet or a mineral deficient body means that there really is no incoming information, right? So that means there won't be proper molecular formation, right? And a transfer of energy, right? And what does this mean for us as humans? Well, it means fatigue, it means depression, it means inflammation, memory loss, things like that. And really not enough energy to heal, right? Our body's going to use the small amount of energy that it has to just get us through every day. But there's no energy for the abundance that we need, right? The abundance that we want with our cells and with our body and our healing and our health and our wellness. So we want to be really, really aware of that. So without minerals, water is just like a blank slate, right? And the minerals stay inactive, the water stay inactive. And without the minerals, the water is just like sitting there waiting to be told what to do. So that's why when you can charge your water with either, like I said, a complete and refined salt charged water, and we can talk about that later, or a lemon, a lime, an orange, a cucumber, something like that, your body's going to receive it better. It's charged, it's ready to be received. So that's really, really important, right? And also when, the water and the minerals are combined and they don't allow for the proper molecular formation, which is dehydration. That's where, it's very essential for us because it's not allowing frequency to flow, right? It's not allowing energy to flow, and we feel stuck. We feel like we're not moving, like we're not in tune or intuitive, right? Like we are. So you want to drink a charged water, a complete unrefined salt charged water. I do that once or twice a day. In these hot months, I do it sometimes 3 or 4 times a day, depending on how much I feel like I'm expressing fluids through, just the heat or, exercise or whatever. And then you can also replace your minerals and really do a lot for your hydration and your mineral deficiency by soaking in a tub or a shower, even with some complete unrefined salt. And then, as I mentioned, my sprays, right? So I really have 2 favorite ways to stay hydrated and to make sure that you're hydrated, which again is essential when we're talking about frequency, right? Frequency is simply energy. That's all it is. Frequency is just energy, and we're all energy, right? And so, and we're going to get into more of that in the second training. Today, we're just really working on building that foundation of working with our frequency and knowing our frequency. So the complete unrefined salt is my first favorite way to be hydrated. My second favorite way is a hydration technique that we don't necessarily think about, or maybe we don't even know, but it's essential oils. Okay. Essential oils can really help us on a physical, mental, emotional, spiritual level. They really can help us on every aspect of us as a person, right? So they really are tools for the complete person, which I love. And they really help us with our emotional and physical well-being by triggering and strengthening our body's own natural processes, right? That's what essential oils do. They go in, they speak to the cells and get them going. They give them the information that they need to work, and they help them to do their work better and more efficiently and properly, right? And essential oils are basically made up of tiny molecules that deliver healing properties to the systems that control, right? To our systems within. So these are all of our systems. It's not like they only work on 1 or 2, they work on all the systems across the board. And the best way for the body to absorb the therapeutic components of essential oils is either through inhalation, right? And the olfactory system is such a powerful way to use essential oils. It's very, very effective, right? It's right by our brain, so it's very effective. But also absorption through the surface of the skin. This is a wonderful way to get the benefit of essential oils. Okay, so I want to talk about the therapeutic grade because it is very important. If you're going to use essential oils and your purpose is for healing of emotional, physical, mental, spiritual, any of that, you want to make sure that you're using the highest quality therapeutic grade oils you can get. That doesn't always mean organic, but it just means the highest quality. It means how it's grown, how the plant is grown, how the essential oil is sourced, all of it. Okay, so you really want to be aware. But if you want to get the full benefit, and especially the hydration benefit, which we're getting to, it's got to be the highest quality therapeutic grade you can get, meaning that it's a really high frequency, right? That it's vibrating at a high frequency. So inhalation, let's talk about that. When we inhale essential oils through the nose, right, we've got lots of little teeny tiny nerves in our nose, and they send an immediate signal to the brain. Okay, like I said, it's very close to the brain. And that signal, it tells them go right to work on the system that needs help, right? Go right to work on that respiratory system. Go right to work on that nervous system, whatever system it is, digestive, whatever system, it gives that signal. And these are the systems that moderate our mind and body. We're talking about that mind-body connection again, right? So essential oils do that. they work on that mind body connection, which is so essential. And you can inhale them in many ways. You can inhale it directly from a bottle. You can use a spray. I love to diffuse, whatever way works for you the best. I love to spray my sprays on my pillow at night and inhale them all through the night. It makes for such a beautiful night's sleep. So there's a lot of different ways. You got to be creative, and you got to just kind of tune in and feel like what's going to help you. Now we want to talk about the topical application, which is such a beautiful way to nourish ourselves. And we don't really think of it, right? But when essential oils are applied to the skin, their healing components are absorbed right into the bloodstream by the pores and the hair follicles. Okay. So this is really important. They just go right in and get to work, right? It's not like a supplement where you take the supplement, it has to break down and all that. The essential oils go right in and do their job, right? And once inside the bloodstream, they disperse to the specific organs or systems that we're using them for. And they know where they need to work. So this is what I love. It doesn't matter. Let's say that you want to use an essential oil, a really high quality, high frequency therapeutic grade essential oil, something for your digestive system. Doesn't matter if you put that essential oil on the tip of your nose. Those oils know where they need to go and what they need to do. And they go there and they do it very quickly. So it's wonderful. You can use the essential oils on your pulse points. That's a really wonderful way to do it. That's like the wrists, the temples, the back of your neck. I like to put them right here too. But those areas of the body are where the blood vessels are really close to the surface of the skin. So they're going to go in there really quick. But that's not the only place to apply oils. Apply oils where you feel like you are drawn, where they resonate with you. Whenever I'm recommending essential oils or any products for somebody, I always tell them where to apply them. That's part of the personal prescription, because they want to go in a certain place, right? At that point when we're talking about that. And so, nature has two ways to hydrate us. One is water, one is oil. Okay. And we know this, like in the winter, we apply a lot more oil, right? Our skin is dry, we're parched. We not only need more oil on our, exterior, on our exterior skin, but we need it internally as well, right? This is when we are eating more, when we're taking in more oil, when we're more aware of needing that hydration, right? But excuse me. So we want to really think, because of that, as oil application in terms of nutrition. Okay. This is not just like wellness or like taking a medicine. This is absolutely nutrition. We're taking the nutrition from the plant and we're bringing it into our physical body, right? So that it can help us on a physical, emotional, mental, spiritual level, whatever we need, maybe all of the above. But we know that the oil is going to do that because it's absolute nutrition. All right. And it's wonderful because we're getting this nutrition through the skin, not just through the digestive tract. So it's very effective and quick, which is wonderful. We're mostly used to getting our nutrition through food, right? That's how we think of it. But we want to start thinking in terms of these other ways that we can get nutrition. And essential oils are a beautiful way that we can do that. Okay. The other aspect that's very important as far as nutrition and frequency is that essential oils are beautiful for detox. They help us to remove all the unwanted stuff going on in our physical and energetic body that we don't want. And we have a ton of that now, just because of these times that we live in, right? And we're talking not only, like toxins and chemicals, physical things like that, but we're talking energetic as well. These essential oils help to remove all of that junk, all that stuff that we don't need, as well as the complete unrefined salt helps us with that as well. So it's very important because keeping our cells clean, right, means that they can function properly, right? So we want to be really aware that essential oils add really powerful cleansing properties. And when they're mixed with carrier oils, that's even more effective. It's also more effective when you add them in water, right? And if you can combine water with complete unrefined salt and essential oils, that is the winning ticket right there. That is the ticket of everything, right? So, you know, when you can combine them, that's just beautiful. And this goes to, like I said, a bath, a shower, also, you know, oh my gosh, what's it called? Sorry, I got to see. When you breathe it in through a diffuser, okay? That is so healthy for our lungs in such a beautiful way, a beautiful, gentle way for us to get all of the benefits of the water and the oils combined. And you can put a little, you know, complete unrefined salt in there too, and it's beautiful. I use my sprays in my diffusers oftentimes. And that's a wonderful, gentle way to get the oils. It's great for kids, it's great for animals, it's very gentle. And so I want to talk about a few oils that I love as far as nutrition, okay? And we're talking about frequency today. So all of these are going to be really about that. One thing that I want to say is peppermint oil contains both potassium and magnesium, okay? And potassium and magnesium are two of the minerals that are low in a lot of people, okay? So peppermint can help you with your magnesium and your potassium levels. Again, if you're using complete unrefined salt, you're setting that foundation to receive minerals from all the food you eat more effectively. The peppermint oil will help with that as well. Okay, fennel. I love fennel because it really helps with absorption of nutrients. Okay, so again, we're setting that foundation. And I'm just mentioning a few of that off the top, you know, that I thought of that I love for this, but there are so many. We could talk about essential oils for this for an hour itself. So mandarin is really good for keeping your mood high, which is essential when we're talking about connecting with our frequency and managing frequency. Cedarwood quiets the mind, okay? We have to have that in order to tune into our intuition, which is our frequency. So cedarwood quiets the mind. Coriander is great for self-doubt, which again, we have to remove that quotient, that piece of it, in order to connect to our frequency and to be able to manage our frequency. Palmarosa is, it brings security and soothes nervous exhaustion, right? It's really good for the cardiovascular system, the thyroid, and the heart chakra. Now, why is that so great? Because that's where our vagus nerve is, right? Right here at the thyroid down into our heart. The vagus nerve runs right there. So it's going to help with that vagus nerve. Myrrh opens us to inspiration and direction of the divine, which is frequency. Pine helps us move on from regrets and self-judgment, which again, all of those low-level emotions are going to keep our frequency low and keep us from connecting with it. Lemongrass helps us to not put our needs behind others' needs. And black pepper increases cellular oxygenation, which is essential for communication and for our cells to work properly, which is frequency, right? Okay, so thank you so much. Again, do this vagus nerve exercise that was at the beginning of the video daily, at least once, more if you want. And really the goal this week is to get very, very acquainted with this essential nerve that you may be acquainted with, may not, but wherever you're at on the spectrum, this is going to help deepen that, which is only good, right? And the better we know this vagus nerve, the better able we are to connect with it and therefore manage our frequency. So thank you so much. Please let me know if you have any questions. I'm here to help.